guys, today we have a lot to do, but I have 4 palettes to swatch for you, so I'm gonna get right into it. And I got these recently and I thought I'd do them all at once in one video. Hopefully you're interested in one of these palettes, if not 2, 3, maybe all 4. Just seeing what they look like swatched on the skin, right? So here we go. The first one I'm gonna swatch is the Urban Decay Vice palette, the limited edition one. I picked this up off of the Urban Decay website. It went up for sale on December 4th, I believe it was. So the packaging looks very much like, I think the second one, except that it's kind of like a neon color. That's an interesting color they chose there. You do get a brush in the palette, a double-sided brush, and I do like these. These are actually really good brushes. There's the large mirror, which I won't blind you with, but it's the large mirror, and then I will give you a long gaze at the actual palette. So those are all of the colors. The thing that strikes me with this is really interesting. The last palette, the Vice number 3, I think was really well put together in like color families, and you know, like I love the Vice for 3. A lot of people didn't like it, but I actually like it. And there was this row where, you know, I spend all my time, it's the cranberries. I've worn that row in a video before. But you know, the colors are kind of grouped the way you might want to wear them. Not necessarily, but you might want to. And these are just kind of scattered all over. So this is going to be fun. I'm going to swatch this, as I said before earlier. I'm going to swatch all of these. So why do I'm even saying that? But anyway, I'm going to do the first row. So I will be going across, just so you know. And I will tell you the names of the colors. I think Sephora had it first, and it was for the either VIB Rouges or whatever. And yeah, so that was kind of interesting, but it was up for a very short time. I think it sold out very quickly. I feel like it was only up for a day, but this is from the Urban Decay website. So I'll go ahead and get into the first row for you. Okay, there is the first row. We're gonna start from the bottom. The bottom color is called Nameless, and I was instantly impressed with that. It's kind of taupey. Right above that is a color called Backdoor, and this looks exactly like a color that I have in the Smoked Urban Decay palette, which I do really like, but there's a color in there called Backdoor. I believe this might be the same one. The next color is Deeper, very pretty gold. Then Disco. All of these swatched really, really well. Disco kind of reminds me of that darn Midnight Cowboy that rides forever, whatever color they always used to throw in palettes. But it is very, it's a pretty color, but there's silver flakiness in there. And the top color is called Heat. So really nice lineup there. I especially like, yeah, what's going on in here besides that disco color. But yeah, they swatched really, really smoothly. So kind of impressed so far. Okay, the next group here, I will start from the bottom. This is the beautiful Crystal. It's really weird. I thought that was a straight up silver. Looking in the pan, it looks like a silver, but it almost has a hint of bluishness to it. I feel like I can see it a little in the viewfinder, but I'm not sure. Goddess is the blue, and I gotta tell you, I had to swatch that one twice. It wasn't as pigmented as all of the other colors I've swatched so far. Above that is Vaporize. It's much like a very true silver. See how the difference between silver and crystal? Interesting. Above that is Floss. That's the pretty teal. That swatched really well. And at the very top is a matte color called Perversion. I feel like I've seen that color before, but I'm not positive. I can't really place it like what palette it's from. But a very nice row. Again, just remember this color right here, Goddess, I had to swatch it twice because the pigmentation on the first swatch really wasn't, you know, showing the color really well. But other than that, pretty good. Nothing glittery, no colors with that glitter in it that first row Disco had. Thank goodness. Hopefully that's the only color with it, but I think I see another one that does. Anyway, let's get to the next row. All right, we are into the third row. All the way at the bottom, the color is called Provocateur, and this one just looks chunky in the pan and does swatch chunky, but once you smooth it out, it's really kind of buttery, but I feel like that one's gonna have a lot of fallout. Right above that, right here, the second color from the bottom, that's a color called Hoodoo, Hoodoo. Hoodoo. Above that, pretty purple is called Freak Show. I don't know why it's called Freak Show. It's so pretty. Above that is Junk Show. That is a pink. It's weird in the viewfinder. Okay, there you can see it's pink in the viewfinder. When I hold it like that, it looks kind of purpley. But anyway, that's Junk Show. And right after that on the very top is a color called Blitz, a really pretty gold. So I like that row. This one again was just, it's one of those colors, let me show it to you again. It looks chunky, and when you put when you put your finger in it, and I think what's going to happen when you put your brush in it, it's just going to be one of those, you're going to want to do your eye makeup. If you're using that, do your eye makeup first. I usually do anyway, but yeah, so pretty good row. I love the pink and purple, very, very pretty. So we have one row left. Okay guys, this is the last row in the palette, and I gotta tell you, there's something I'm gonna have to show you you're not gonna quite believe, because I've, for the first time in my life, been palette shocked. Okay, when we get to the color, I'll tell you what's going on. All right, bottom color is Chase, really pretty gold. Then this color is Last Sin, really nice, I like that one too. This color is the one, it's called Road Stripe. And see how it looks purple? Well, in the pan it looks stark white, and I'm going to show you it in a second. Hold on. Road Stripe, and then oh, I only did I do the last color? Oh, forgot to do the last color. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, that's the crazy one. I'm going to show you that in a second again. Road Stripe. Anonymous is above that, a nice matte, and then there's the matte color. These two are mattes. So this is Anonymous and then Laced. All right, Road Striped. Let me show you again what it looks like in the pan. This looks like a stark white color. Right there, it is right there in the center. So what happens, let me see if I can hold this open and show you while swatching it. Okay, clean finger, swatch it. It's purple. That is kind of amazing. Kind of amazing. Even in the pan, after I've kind of touched it and everything like that, it still doesn't look purple. It just looks purple when you swatch it. Very, very interesting. I did it again. So yeah, that is the Urban Decay Vice Limited palette, and we'll get on to the next palette. Okay, the next one we're going to swatch is, this is a palette that came out for 5 days on the Tarte website. So I went ahead and ordered it there. I have the discount with them. And they said after that it would be available in January. And I'm assuming they're only talking about their site, because I just saw it this week on the Sephora site for VIBs and VIB Rouges. So what is this called? The Tartelette? Amazonian Clay Matte Palette. So very, very pretty. I put a picture of this one up on Instagram. So they kind of, I guess, did their own type of sneak peek and had it up for available. I got an email that it was out for 5 days, and it'll be back in January. But again, it should be available to you at Sephora if you have that whole VIB Rouge thing going on. So one of the things someone noticed on Instagram that I noticed immediately as well is that the color names are at the bottom of the pan, which is amazing, because they usually do those plastic things, which kind of, I don't like it, but you know, to each his own. I usually end up gluing it to the top, or taping it to the top of the palette. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch this for you. Let you get a long look of this guy, and hopefully that you can see the names right there. And yeah, so really interesting palette. I love matte shadows, and I've been pretty pleased with my Tarte matte shadows that have been mixed in with, satiny shadows or whatever, in different palettes that I've gotten from them, holiday palettes, things like that. So stuff I've ordered from QVC. So I definitely was interested in matte palette. And the last matte palette they had that came out last spring was a little too light for me. So I was really pleased with, some deeper colors. So here we go with the first row. And of course, I'll tell you the names of the colors when I show you. So I'll just go across front row, just like I did, first row, just like I did with the last palette. All right, guys, that's the first row. Of course, I'm having a coughing attack, but at the very bottom, the color is called Free Spirit. The next color above that is called Force of Nature. Then we have Dreamer, and then we have Multitasker. And again, guys, remember this is an all matte palette, so all of these shades are going to be matte, no shimmers. And I got to tell you, from swatching just this front row, I'm already impressed. The pigmentation seems to be very, very good. Very, very rich, one swipe, and the color is transferred from my finger right to my hand, which says a lot. That usually only happens very easily with, satiny colors. Matte colors tend to be kind of patchy when you know, do that whole transfer situation. So far, very impressed with that first row. Let's see if it continues with the second row. At the very bottom, we have a color called Caregiver. And on my skin tone, it doesn't look as pink as it does in the pan. It's kind of like a really very light pink. And I feel like in the viewfinder, it looks like a white shade on me, but it is a light pink. The next color is called Natural Beauty, a really nice shade. And then there's Best Friend. That color looks gorgeous. It's a purple. And above that is Bombshell, an even deeper purple. Really, really nice row. I like this row. Very, very pretty. Again, Caregiver, Natural Beauty, Best Friend, and Bombshell. Really pretty. And I'll show you that row just so you can see what I was talking about with that pink. So that's it right there. So that's the row that I did, the center row. So yeah, that is a little bit different. Hopefully you can see this. I can't really see the viewfinder when I hold this up. But yeah, hopefully you can see what I was talking about with that pink shade. And we're on to the last row. Here we are at the last row. The bottom color is a color shade called Supermom. Yeah, that's a very, very light tannish color. Very, very whitish tan color, actually. Wanderer is a more of a tan color, actually. The Wanderer, the second color from the bottom. Then we have a grayish color. It's called Power Play. Very pretty. Power Player. Player. So Power Player. And Fashionista. Now this one shocked me because man was it pigmented. It's a nice matte black and I can't wait to try that out because I went like that and I was like woo, and then I went on my hand and it was smooth as butter. So yeah, that swatch really, really well. Matte blacks you got to be careful with. Those are the ones that tend to be the chalkiest I've found. So that swatched really well. We'll only see when I get these on my eye. So you know, until you get them on your eye you don't really know. But yeah, that's a nice row. I love the gray and black. Those were really, really pretty. I could see that with some of the Maybelline color tattoo, that gray one, the gray matte one. Oh, and this gray and then the black. That's a nice cool eye look. Cool eye look. All right, guys, we're going to go on to the next palette. I'm going to go ahead and wash my hand and everything first. I don't want to be showing you swatches with ashy hands. My mother would be like, she was like, yeah, that was really a great video, Crystal, but your hands were ashy. Okay guys, I took a little bitty break and I wanted to check on the Penelope. She had her little surgery to get fixed and she's a trooper though. She is enjoying, she's just as active as ever with the little cone thing as she was before. And of course Max is being sweet to his little sister. It's like he knows, he knows that yeah, she's just not our usual self, so he hasn't been doing his usual let's run and play and let me chase you type games. So yeah, guys, let's get to the third palette. That Tartelette palette really was really nice, I thought. You know, you never know till you get it on your eyes, but I thought that was pretty good for a matte palette. The last two we have are the Interstellar from Kat Von D and the Chocolate Bar. And I think we're just going to go with the Chocolate Bar next because I can smell this sucker and I'm pretty impressed with it. Smelling wise, this is thinner. I have the original one, the Chocolate Bar palette, and I love. That's one of my favorite palettes like of the year. Did it come out this year? I feel like it did. Anyway, it was a great palette. This is the semi-sweet chocolate bar. I got this from Sephora. I use that. Did everybody get their Sephora people? Did you get your coupons? I got, what was it, $25 off? I think $25 off for being a VIB Rouge, and I put it towards this, and I believe this was 40 something. Anyway, I'm excited about this. I saw this online. I was like, ooh boy. So it looks like there are a lot of colors for us to swatch. So let's get to it. Let me show you what the inside looks like. And just like last time with the other one, it smells good enough to eat. Inside here, there is a how-to glamour guide. And there's that same mirror. And let me let you take a look at the color lineup. So there's a lot to swatch here. A lot to swatch. Yeah, so very interesting how they do some of the colors. There's two larger colors and then the rest are like kind of standard. And yeah, so let's get this. Oh my gosh, the names are really cute too. The first row is 5 colors, then 6 colors, then 5 colors again. So we'll be in that second row. I'll put the colors 6 on my hand. I'm just like talking myself through this. Let me just get the swatch in. Guys, that is the first row, and I think all of these are very matte except for the very last shade on the top. Let me go through the colors with you. This is Licorice. It's a black matte and it's swatched relatively well. Not as well as that Tarte matte color did, but really good. This is Coconut Cream. That's one of the larger pans, one of the two large pans in the palette. The next color is Nougat, a really pretty matte pink. Then Truffled, I could see using this in my crease, no problem. This is a matte brown, medium matte brown. And then Hot Fudge is in the pan, it looks like a brown, but you can see there's a little, hopefully you can see it in the viewfinder. I can see it when I look at my hand. It's a little shimmer, slight shimmer to it, so it's a little more satiny than matte. Look at that little girl. She's still over here. She's still in here, that is. So first row, pretty good. 5 colors. Again, that Hot Fudge, which is in the top right-hand corner of the palette, seems to be the satiny shade, but the rest are matte. All right, we're gonna go do the 6 shades in the center, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of the 6 look like shimmers to me, so this will be a good row. This is the next set. The colors from the center row, 6 pans of color, all equally sized. None of the long shades, longer pan shades here. Is that what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So yeah, 6 colors. Let me go ahead and start from the bottom with you. This is Rum Raisin. This is a brown with glitter flecks, gold glitter flecks in it, not glitter flecks, glitter flecks in it. This next color was a little hard to swatch. It's called Pink Sugar. Oh, wait a minute. That's Cocoa Chili. Sorry. Cocoa Chili is the one with, I was looking at, I don't know if I was looking at the wrong thing. Anyway, Cocoa Chili is the one with the brown shade with gold flecks in it. This was hard to swatch. It's called Pink Sugar. Very, very hard to swatch. The next color is called Puddin'. It's a matte brownish gray almost. Very interesting color, but it is a matte. The next color, Blueberry Swirl. This was a little harder to swatch too. I had to go 2 rounds with this, 2 swipes with this, because the blueness just really didn't show up with 1 swipe. So that's Blueberry Swirl. At the very top here, this is a color called Peanut Butter. And this is a matte shade, really, really pretty shade. The last one is right here. The last one in the row is called Frosting, and it's a nice brown. I like that. That's a good one. So this is a good row. I didn't like Pink Sugar though. That is just, it was really patchy, frosty. Doesn't look like that in the pan, but it really felt like that swatching it. So that's another one that's gonna need, you know, gonna lead to fallout, I really strongly believe, when you use it on the eye. I really like how thin this is. I have the Chocolate Bar palette that's very, very thick. I think they remade it and made it skinnier like this, but I have the thick one, so I like this one being thinner. It'll be easier for me to fit it in places. So let's do the last row. There are 5 shades in the last row, and then we'll be done with this one, and we will move on to Kat Von D. Okay guys, last row in the Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar palette. So at the very bottom here we have a color called Rum Raisin. I like that color, that's really, really pretty. The next color is called Mousse. This is a matte shade, a really nice matte brownish shade. Caramel, that is a really pretty color. Caramel, definitely satiny. Then Bonbon, really, really pretty. I like that. Satiny Caramel and Bonbon. The color names are Caramel and Bonbon. Let me not confuse you. The very last color is Butter Pecan, and that looks to be a matte shade as well. So in this row, there's only 2 matte shade, Butter Pecan and Mousse. The rest are shimmery. So yeah, very, very pretty. Let me give you, I don't know if I did that one too fast. But yeah, very, very pretty row. Overall, very impressed with this palette. Excited to use it, of course. The colors look really nice. There are a couple I would stay away from. Pink Sugar, the one that I told you was patchy, I had to take out a brand new fresh makeup wipe to get the remnants of it off my hand. So yeah. There's going to be fallout, and it's going to be hard to get off your eye, out from under your eye. So yeah, don't know if I'm even dip into that one. But the rest of it is great. I like this because I like a palette that has highlight colors, transition colors, and good colors, you know, to use in the center of your eye and that kind of a thing, and in your crease. And yeah, so I like this one. I think this might be the first one I pop open to use. So yeah, very impressed with this. And we have 1 palette left. Thank Thank you so much for sticking with this, but we have one palette left, so let me get cleaned up and we will do it. Last but not least, the last palette we're getting into is the Kat Von D Interstellar palette. I didn't say interstellar, interstellar. Yeah, that's it. So we will get into this. I love the other two palettes I have in the same format, the Monarch palette from Kat Von D and the Chrysalis palette. This has the same look to it. There's a mirror in here, and we are going to swatch these guys. Let me give you the close-up of the colors, because we've got this down pat, right? We are moving and shaking. I've never said that phrase before, and it does sound bad, so ignore me. But I will start with the first three colors right there across, and then take these in segments for you. So I will start with the first three across. All right, so 1, 2, 3. And the colors, I'm hoping I'm reading them right. Gravitron, Vast, and Lycan, Lycan. So yeah, these are the larger pans, and I tend not to use the larger pan colors in her palettes, but they're very, very pretty. So let me go ahead and show you. This one is interesting. It has that purple tinge to it, even though it looks kind of, well, it looks like a light pink. It has that purple tinge to it. I'm hoping that shows up in the viewfinder. It's kind of a pinky purple. That middle shade, really, really pretty. That one is, it's weird. It does look like a matte shade. It almost looks like a shimmer in the pan. And the far right color in the palette, if you have it opened up, is I guess like a highlighting kind of a white shade. So right there. So that's the order I did them in. This is the one that kind of looks like a pinkish purple. And in the pan, I don't think it looks like that. It looks a little tad bit pink, but that purple tone that comes out in it. Interesting. So those are the first three colors in the palette, and I think we'll do another 4 next, but let me let you have another look at that. So from left to right, left, middle, and right shade. Yeah, so those are the larger pans. Pan colors. I'm going to show you these first 4 colors in the palette. So this one, this one, this one, and this one. I have them swatched on my hand, so we are going to start from the very bottom. And let me, hopefully, I feel really nervous about giving you the names, because I don't know if I'm reading this right, but we will just, let's see. I think it's from this side. Killing Moon, Moonshine, 3 a.m., and Orion. I'm hoping that's right. You can read the colors of the back, but I'm assuming that Nightcrawler is the black, so that's why I'm assuming it's going from this way, this way. Anyway, these are the first 4. Let me not be nervous about it and just show you what the colors look like. So those first 4 that I showed you, they swatched really, really well. I love this formula. I don't know, like, you can comment below, but if you have her older palettes, you know, the ones that are kind of smaller and the pans are a little smaller, I like this formula better than those. So let me know what you think, or if you think it's the same. I don't know if I'm right about that. Well, I'm never right. I don't know if like there's a difference, or I like these a lot better in these 3 palettes if I include the Monarch and the Chrysalis palette. You know, I just feel like I like this formula better. I feel like there's less fallout. So let me know what your thoughts are on it, because I know a lot of you use, or some of you use, Kat Von D products. These are the last 5 shades in the palette, and again, I hope I'm reading you the right names. At the very bottom there, we have Dark Star, then Astrological, second from the bottom. Lunacy, haha, I like that name, is the third from the bottom. It's a pretty color. It's swatched really well. And the one above that, the silver, is called Dios, and then Nightcrawler. So yeah, I gotta tell you, I've swatched a lot of matte blacks today. I'll give you a second look at it. Sorry, I did that really quick. I've swatched a lot of matte blacks today, but I gotta tell you, this matte black and the one from Tarte swatched the best. This swatched very similarly to the Tarte Black Matte shade. Really, really smooth, really, really pigmented. So I'm impressed with both of those black shades. These I really think I'm going to enjoy using. This is probably my favorite hand swatch because these have, this has really pretty, like this color, that color. I really like colors like that. So we have swatched this and we are out of here. Yeah, so let me know. I need to know from you if you like videos like this. I can only tell by thumbs ups, you all commenting and that kind of a thing. I've never really done this before, but let me know if you like this kind of a thing, because I think it's kind of interesting to swatch a bunch of palettes together and see, what you like, what you don't like. And I think it's kind of easier. I don't know. I think for me, it would be easier to make a decision on what to get by looking at a video like this. If you see a bunch of things that are out at the same time, thinking, what will I get the most use out of, I guess. So that's why I wanted to do it this way, and I hope that's, the way it comes across and the way it is for you. So I've said enough. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you very soon, guys, and have a great rest of the weekend. Bye-bye.